Assalamu alaikum everyone. Good evening. This is me, Sundar Sanwar, your host for the day, and I hope you guys are doing fine and everyone is safe at their home. As you know that now things have opened up and starting a new journey of finally things opening and looking at all the different markets and everything. I have this show that is regarding education, and what our focus is that we want to talk about how we as educationists or the educationists all around Pakistan are developing the shape of the image of education and how they are contributing towards the shape and development of education. I have a very special guest with me. Her name is Miss Humaira Asadulla. Assalamu alaikum, Miss. How are you?
I'm good, and it's a pleasure to be here with you, and it's a pleasure to be talking to everybody that is listening to us.
Yeah, thank you so much, Miss, for coming. We really appreciate it. Miss Humaira Asadullah is actually running a school by the name of Mrs. Syed School, working with underprivileged children to bring them at par with the elite school children. She is working with slow learners, Down syndrome, and mild autistic children by integrating them in mainstream schooling. She has conducted various workshops for training and development of school teachers. A passionate writing, she has a passion for writing articles. She has appeared over a number of TV channels as a guest speaker as well. So, Ms. Humaira, tell me, you being a Mama Parsi student and then afterwards, coming towards this field of education, how was it?
Oh, it was a good experience. I always wanted to be into something which could help others, and I do not know how I entered into it. It was very strange, but maybe Allah makes ways for you, and that is how I just came into it because there was a friend of mine, and she wanted to start a school, and when she came to me, I said, "Look, I'm scared of this idea because we've been having summer camps for the last 20 years or something of that sort. In fact, we're the first people to start summer camps in Pakistan by the name of Sargam Summer Camp. And I was doing that all the time, but that was just for 2 months. And school felt like a very big responsibility. I just never thought that I'd be able to kind of go for it. But she came over and she said, "Okay, Mera, you've been teaching for such a long time. We've been doing such a lot of work together. Let's start off with the school." So I told her she's an MSc in what you call that, home economics and everything. So I said, "You don't have a degree to teach, like you have nothing for teaching. Go and do a Montessori course." I thought she dropped the idea, like doing a Montessori course for a year or something of that sort. She came back to me after a year and she said, "Let's start." And we started off. We started off as a regular kind of a school, but then I realized that these children who like our children, they do not need us that much. They've already got lots of opportunities, lots of schools to go to, lots of excellent teachers. But the underprivileged, they have nothing. Like it's very sad. But here in Pakistan, we have got three kinds of schools. One is for the elite class, and I consider myself as one of those because my children have gone to very good schools. And then there is another government schools that we have, which have, I do not think what they're imparting is education. Very frankly, it is maybe they would be giving a little bit of knowledge, but there's a lot of difference between educating a person and just imparting knowledge. Education basically means you're grooming the whole child, the way the child speaks, the way the child talks. I mean, the way the child behaves, his ethical values, everything should be there in education. But if you look at a child who's coming from a government school, there are lots of things that are lacking. The basic things that you feel that would should be taught at home, maybe, but no, actually, everything is taught at school. And we do not realize how much we are getting from a school. And we take everything for granted that no problem, like, fine, everybody does it. But no, you people are very lucky. You go to these elite schools where they treat you so nicely, they give you everything. So, anyways, coming back to this, that there are three kinds of schools. So the third kind of a school is there, that which is kind of a private school, but it is not charging very high fee. And these schools, when they're not charging high fee, then they are not that good as well. They cannot really cope up with the demands of the modern changes that are being done in education. There are children that are coming out from there. I won't take any names, but they're not as capable as the elite schools are. So the government school children, fine, we cannot really do much about them because the government has to help us out. It's not that the government does not give them funds. These children who are in government, these teachers who are in government schools, they're getting very high salaries. Everything is up to the mark. But somehow they lack some training. I do not know, but somehow they lack the passion for education. And those children, so I've just given up on them because we are kind of helpless. But the children who are going to these schools where we kind of consider them as private, but they are the low fee schools, their education standard is very bad. So I thought of coming up with a school where we take very less fees, or in some cases we do not take any fee. It's totally free. And then we are kind of taking these children in, and we're trying to mold them into better humans, because there is no dearth of talent in Pakistan. You have no idea how much these children are capable of. So in my school I kind of learned that, like every child has got something in that person, and we just need to kind of polish the child, and he could be a very positive part of the society. So that is how it is. That is how, like it is not like my thinking, my planning of going into it. I would never say that. It was God's will, and I came into it, and once I'm into it, it's like I just do not know. I am very happy with what I'm doing. I may not be making money, as such, but I am very happy. I'm very content with my life. I'm very content with the work that I'm doing. I feel very satisfied from inside. And it's very, like I feel very happy when I see my children doing something better in life. Like, if a child of a mate comes and she is teaching at a prestigious school at the moment, or if a child of a driver comes and if he is, like he is doing something good, I won't say they go on to become engineers or doctors, because the problem is this, that we still have a lot to do. We now that era has gone where, children from government schools or from low income schools, they would get very good percentages. Education has become a business, and it has become, like, very frankly, after coming into it, I feel there's a lot of, I shouldn't be using the word corruption, but there is corruption over there as well. Board office, everything, we just don't understand how to go through these things. Results are not accordingly. It's not what the child is studying. And very frankly, one more thing is there, that when the class that I'm teaching, they do not have any parents who understand what education is. They do not
That's the biggest
understand
thing.
the,
When the parental
yes,
body is not educated enough to understand what the child is actually learning, so there comes a
exactly.
gap in between. We always, even in the private schools, we talk about educating the parents. And when you are talking
Definitely.
about those students who are just completely out of this fire where education is taken as a need, so definitely, when their parents are talked about, we have a total different scenario. But taking your point forward, I have one of your documentaries that you shared with me, a little video that you guys made of your school. I would like to show it.
Oh, sure, sure. Go ahead. That would be very nice.
In the meanwhile, I guess the video is going to play in a while. Uh, we talk about your school and we talk about, how different you are catering in terms of, school and education.
I'm Humaira Muslim, an educationist for the last 35 years. Mrs. Syed School started in 2006. The concept behind it was very different. We wanted education, and that also standard education for all. It didn't matter from which financial strata they belonged to. They could be the children of a servant, a maid, a vendor, or they could be the children of doctors or engineers. Whatever, we believe that we should give the best of education to everybody. There is no discrimination between any child because we believe that there should be equality. The children come in uniforms and everybody looks the same and they are treated the same way. So that is what we feel should be there in the society as well, which would reduce the frustrations which are already there. And that is why my teachers treat all the children equally and with love and respect. For donations to Mrs. Syed School, you can send in the donations to the account number which is mentioned below, or you can contact us. Mrs. Syed School welcomes sponsors to come forward and join hands with us to achieve better goals and make a more educated society.
This was a very good video. I saw that you actually gave the whole idea of what your school stood for and what foundations you have built for the school as well. Just talking about the students that you are catering right now and talking about different backgrounds and different financial status as well. Miss, how do you do it? How do you guys bring in? Because when I see curriculums, I see very heavy books, very elaborated and expensive books that are not easily available in the market. That amalgamate a lot of reading, a lot of understanding. We people sit together, we plan, we have this whole meetings. How do you guys do it over there when people are having a very small wage and very small amount of income coming? How do you provide them those curriculums?
Well, that is very technical. If you want, what I do is I definitely publishers are, they're revising their editions and new editions are coming. So I never go for the new editions. Number one. So what happens is that if we have I'll take the names, bad names, syllabus D book one. So it's the old edition only that we're following. So that books that we already have can be passed on to the other, students. It's like that. So usually there are certain children, like I said, we have children, because actually I'm an educationist. So those people who trust me with their children, there's certain slow learners as well. Their parents feel that I can do it with them, I can help them out with it. So even though they are very well off and everything, but then they come here, they put their children in here, they pay the little amount of fee that there is, but at the same time, then they give me something extra for they sponsor another children as well. So it kinds of compensates. So these children come in and I'm there, I'm like kind of helping them out, they're becoming better, because we've got autistic children here, we've got slow learners here, we have got children who are who have got Down syndrome as well. Definitely Down syndrome child would not be able to come up that much, but autistic children, if it's mild autism, they may improve a lot. It depends on the kind of autism that they have. So I've seen that certain children, they really, because with autistic children, I feel that if you're dealing with them as a normal child right from the very beginning, then they are like, they really kind of improve. But you have to be patient. You have to give in where you feel that you cannot be, like every child is different. I won't say that just because they have been, like they've been given a name of autism or something of that sort. Even if they have not been given a name, if nobody has checked them, every child is different. Every child has got their own psychological behavior. A teacher who is a good teacher is going to think that fine, if a child does not want to study today, maybe the child is having an issue, especially the small children. I'm talking about the Montessori children as well. If the child does not want to write or something, then maybe the child is having an issue over there. Now, coming back to the books and the curriculum, so we are kind of passing the books on from these children, the ones that can afford can buy the books. We pass them on. Then they can get second-hand books from Urdu Bazaar. Then if somebody is sponsoring, I tell all my relatives, very frankly, everybody knows that I'm the biggest help seeker when it comes to, I don't want to use another word for it. I don't want to use the word beggar, but anyways, I would say I'm the biggest help seeker out here, who whenever my relatives, everybody who's using those books, whenever they are finished off with those, they just pass them on to me. I keep them in my school. I keep them on the table. I tell everybody that whoever needs a book, you do not need to ask permission from me. Just come, just pick up the book that you want, and you just take it. The children are very sweet. They come and say, Miss, I've taken the maths book, or I've taken the English book, or I've taken all these books. And, things like, they come and tell me definitely. But still, the rule is this: they're lying on my table. I've got my office table, they're lying on that. You guys come, you check out what book you need, just pick it up and take it. So that nobody feels, that somebody's helping them out, nothing of that sort. And even the children who are coming from those backgrounds that can afford books, even if they want a book from there, there's no harm in it. So even they take it. So it's like, I want a uniformity. I don't want anyone to feel low because they're taking a book. I do not want anyone to feel low because their fees is not being paid by the parents or something of that sort. I want everybody to have that confidence in them that it doesn't matter for us. The basic thing is to get education, is to study. And if Allah Mia is giving us an opportunity to study, so why not? So this is how it is. So they should not feel bad about, using a second hand book, nothing of that sort. I'm very open about it. And it's like, it's there. So this is how they kind of use the books. And very
I totally
frankly,
get
I
your
am,
point. I get your
and
point
then
of
again,
using these books. Miss, talking about your autistic students, how you
yeah.
were talking about them. I'm sorry I'm cutting you out, but it's just that
No, no problem, not at all.
dealing with this type of, these type of students who are specially able and, who have different abilities and how to, cope up with them is something that is actually given a lot of training to. And people have to go through vigorous trainings. We need to get, certain certificates to allow this. But obviously not every person out there has that, credible, I would not even use the word credibility, I was just use the word, availability, that they can certain go for these. And every child needs education. Education is the basic need of everyone. I have this video of one of this autistic child that is in your school, and he's so cute,
Uh,
mashallah. I would like to show it.
yeah, sure, go ahead. It's
And I love you. And I love you. I love you too.
Like it's so pretty. I
he,
could see the child's love. I could see his, affection with you all. Mashallah, wonderful job, I would have
Oh,
to
he's
say.
adorable. He's adorable. I'll tell you what, in the beginning, what happened the first time the mother came, not this child's mother, there was another child. The mother came to me and she brought a child. The child could not walk. The child could not even pick up the food and put it in his mouth. I'm talking about another child. So that child came in and she told me to take the child in. So I told her, okay, I am not trained for this. I've never done this. I cannot take the child. And she literally started, crying in front of me. She said, okay, I want him to study with the regular children. I don't want him to go to a special school. So I told her, I said, okay, what we can do is this, that don't give me any money, don't give me anything. I'd like to try out and see whether we can do something or not. So we took in the child. Definitely, if a child is Montessori going, who's never been without the mother, the child is going to cry. So the child did cry the first day when he was separated from the mother. And, the first day was scary because we were like,
That's very
the mother was
common.
sitting
That's
in
very,
another room.
very common.
Exactly. Let's take these children as normal children. Let's not think of them as aliens. That is the first thing that you have to do. So, anyways, the first day this happened, the second day this happened, the third day he was responding to us so nicely that we were just like we were okay with it. So I give this whole credit to that mother who trusted me at that time. I mean, it was like I was very reluctant. I was very scared as well. Then gradually we had other children coming in, and there were certain children their mothers would tell me that we expect nothing from you. We know that the child won't be able to do a single thing. But this is a Down syndrome child. He's also trying to write, but maybe he cannot write that well. But there are autistic children. You cannot tell the difference. They've been diagnosed as autistic children, and very frankly, I just came to know about somebody who was an autistic child, because that person is kind of in the mainstream, working in education field only. I won't take the name because it's not fair. But anyways, I have not trained him, but that person also gave me a lot of confidence. I felt that because the autistic children that I'm dealing with, they're writing like the regular children. They're in the Montessori. They have been thrown out of other schools. They've been told that your child cannot do anything. I had a child who was thrown out because he was kind of hitting the other children. I know at times, you have to face all that. But here when he came, I just explained to him that you cannot do that, beta. You have to be there. I had to keep a strict eye on the child that he's not hitting. But we treat them very normally, just like the other children, but with a little bit of more patience. You need to be patient. You cannot scold them, you cannot hit them, you cannot do these kinds of things. You have to
That's
be
it.
quiet. If the child doesn't want to study, let it go. The child is very small. He's around 5 years or 6 years. Let it go. If the child is older and you know that he's got an autistic problem, even if he doesn't want to study, fine. Let it be. Let him think. Later on, speak to him and say, okay, fine, we want to work. Be a little strict with the child as well. At times, you need to be strict, but that doesn't mean that you're scolding the child. I don't believe in scolding them very harshly. Yes, I would be a little bit firm with them. No, you can't do that. No, I've told you you cannot do that. So the parents have to trust you, number one. Number two, you have to treat them like regular children, and you get very good results. I'm happy and I'm very grateful to my teachers. I cannot do everything myself. I also learn a lot from my teachers. Their patience also counts. I had a teacher called Miss Deveria, and she handled an autistic child, and it was like the mother never expected the child to write a single word. The child did
Oh,
the whole alphabets. He could write all the numbers. He could do everything. He could, and then later on we found out that he was very good at calculations. He could do all the multiplication sums. He could do all the addition and everything. He knew all that. And autistic children are very good at computers and all. So he was very
yes.
much, he was very good at that. So, and this child, basically, we love him very much. He's there. He's allowed playtime when the others are not. So, because we have to give in, it's not like that. But
That's
then again, we treat
that's
him
how
very
the
normally.
special that's how we deal with the special childs and how
Yes.
special children. Miss, taking this
Hmm.
notion forward of special children and you guys working and you guys providing better and good education. I have another video of one of the students who is showing this project that he has made, and mashallah, his language skills, his deliverance, his confidence in speaking. This is something that we take years in developing. And mashallah, he was doing it so well. So I really want to show that
And
video
there
to
is
everybody
nobody
around.
in the house who can speak in English. There are people in his house who cannot even understand English. It's like that. He's
Oh
come
God.
from that kind of a background. So,
That's
alhamdulillah.
a huge accomplishment, I would have to say.
Mashallah, mashallah. I would
It's
say,
not just
this.
education, you're actually doing something that's going to go to Allah Ta'ala as well, and He's going to be very happy about it too. I think we'll be able to show the video now.
My name is Rehan. I am studying in class 6. I make a circuit board project, this thing called a bulb, and this is a switch and this is a battery. The battery give energy to switch from these both wire and these both wire give energy to a bulb.
Yeah, that's huge, mashallah. Looking at how he's speaking so well and the confidence that he's showing, mashallah, that's amazing. I seriously have to salute you for that, Miss Humaira. Taking your notion of this school forward, I was talking to you yesterday as well about your school, and you told me that you have a certain number of students. Then you make them go through every level of starting from the pre-nursery, nursery, and then forward till 10th grade. So tell me,
Yes.
where are your students, some of your students who have graduated and who have passed out from your school? Where are they now? Give me some examples.
Well, they're teaching very prestigious schools as well, and it's very because the other teachers, they ask them from which school they are, and then they tell them that they're from here, and it's like it's wonderful. It's wonderful the way others appreciate. They're going to different colleges, they're going to different business schools as well. There's one girl, like I said, they do not have parents who can even understand the language, and she's going to a business school because somebody had sponsored her education, and she's going there. And if you look at her, you cannot even imagine that she comes from that kind of a background. It's like that. There are lots of children. That's what I'm saying. We categorize them according to their financial status. Otherwise, all children are equal. We all humans are equal. It's just like we have not polished the talent that has been given to them. They have not had the resources to do these things. So that is how it is. Otherwise, if these children get resources, they're as good as our own children. It's like that. So they're teaching in different schools. But I feel that today, that child is my success. Somebody asked me, what do you think is, when do you feel successful? Looking at a child who had left his education, he said, I am not going to study anymore. He was there on the streets and with friends, and his sister came to me and she said, "Okay, I do not know what to do." And today that child has given the metric exam, alhamdulillah. He was in grade 5 or 6 when he had left the school, because according to the child, and definitely according, I won't say definitely, the teachers were hitting him. He did not want to study. He did not want to do anything. So definitely, if a child is not ready studying, so the teachers are going to be angry with him. So they were hitting him. They were not treating him the way he should have been treated. That's the difference between the elite school and those middle schools. So when he came to me, so we were working as a waiter in a today he may be working as a waiter in a what taking a child who was not doing anything to a child who's now responsible of, he thinks about earning money, he's doing his intermediate as well. So that is my success. That is where I feel I've been very successful. That where you just take a child out from nowhere and just helping them. That is something I really feel proud about. And then there are other children who are doing very well. They're in different, because some of them have graduated. We even have children who I would say that there were children who did not have any money in the beginning to pay the fee and all. There was a crisis in the family
Hmm.
and everything. So they join our school, and then later on, those children have gone to Mama Parsi as well. They're studying over there, and
Wow.
when the parents
Amazing.
got enough,
Hmm.
so and they cleared the admission test. They've gone to St. Joseph's as well. So that is how it is.
Oh,
It's not, so I would say that I am at par with that, because we're still using Cambridge system books till grade 8. Then I start off with the metric books, like the Pakistan studies and everything. And I'm even going for the, like I told you yesterday, that I'm going for the Islamia Cambridge book, the Farkhunda Noor's book, because the thing is this, that I feel that my children should know religion in all language. They're able to communicate, because like language is a very big barrier. When you do not, how would you communicate to another person anything if you do not know the terms? So every
that's what,
subject
that
has
is
different terms. So that is what I want them to know. Okay, like religion is not just Urdu. Religion can be in any language. Islamiyat can be in any language. And they should, because I feel that is a very good book, a comprehensive book in which everything is covered. So we do a few chapters in grade 6, then we do a few chapters in grade 7, then few in 8. But just to give them that vocabulary of religion, of Islam, I would like them to do it in English as well. So that is how I kind of do it. Till grade 5, they have it in Urdu, because I realized that their Urdu was becoming pretty bad when it comes to writing and all. So we had two
Hmm.
subjects, Urdu and
Yes.
Islamiyat.
Yes.
And then from grade 6, I started off with the English Islamiyat, so that, they have a taste of both the languages. They should know, because this is how we know. Like, I know everything, though definitely in our times I'm much, much, much senior than you people are. So in our times, we had the metric system only. We did Islamiyat in Urdu only. And I still enjoy, like my children, they enjoy the Quran translations in English. I enjoy it in Urdu. So it's always like
Yes.
that, because that is what I relate to. So I wanted these children to relate to both the languages too. So
That's
that
so
is
true.
how it is.
Taking both languages forward, but I was looking into it and I even asked you about it. This is a complete, mashallah, English medium school. You guys are actually teaching them proper
Alhamdulillah.
English, and they're getting the instructions and everything in English. Miss, talking about the teachers, I know the teachers wouldn't be getting like, those amazing salary amounts and everything, but the
Not
cause
at
they work
all, not at all.
the cause they're working for and the students they're catering, especially now in COVID situation, it must have been hard because the accessibility of the gadgets was a problem in the private schools. Thinking about coming to the school that is catering all type of students coming from all different social classes, how hard it was to
Oh,
cater to
it
all
is.
those
It is
gadgets.
not only hard, very true. It is very sad as well, because there are
I
certain
know.
students we cannot even reach out to. There's certain students I cannot even, like I do not, like I know I'm not teaching them anything at the moment, because they do not have any cell phones. They have no electronic gadgets. They do. I mean, those phones. They're like, just think about a father who's a plumber, right? So he just has a phone which you can connect and talk to the person. That's about it. But there's no smartphone. There are others. There are certain, like there maybe maids or something, like they can afford the phone as well. but then they do not have internet connection, then they're asking their neighbors to help them out. So then there are certain, because if you know, there is a lines area very close by to peace theaters, houses are very close by. So one student would go to another student's house and then they would be studying together. So this is how we are trying to manage, but there are certain students I cannot reach out to, and I'm just hoping for the pandemic to end so that we can start off again. At times the internet connection is so bad that I just record all my lectures on WhatsApp and I send it to them, so that later on, whenever they are there, they can just listen to it. I record the videos on, like if I'm doing maths on the board, it's not just me, the teachers as well. If they're doing maths on the board, they record the videos and then they send it on WhatsApp. Then they're trying to get them on the video call. One, two, or three would come. One would not be there just because there's an electricity breakdown or the internet is not working. So they cannot go for mobile data, nothing of that sort. Whatever they have, they just have to do the best with that. So we go like, I've seen my teachers, because I'm in everybody's group. So I've seen my teachers working at like 10 o'clock in the night, 12 o'clock in the night. They're listening to somebody who never didn't have the internet connection in the morning, So now in the night, they're speaking to the child. The child is like telling them whatever they've learned. They're trying, it's like that. So that is how we are doing. It's very tough. I laud I really appreciate my teachers to kind of be so helpful, because once I asked my teacher, I said, okay, you should let it go. You would have done it the next day. So she said, no, miss, I thought I'll do it in the night. Doesn't matter, I can do it. I've got very young teachers. They're young blood and they help out. They work with the students. And I try to help them out. I try to guide them. I try to train them myself, because as such as well, I'm training teachers from other schools as well at times. But here I train my own teachers. I teach them, like I sit with them. If a new teacher comes, I do not leave the teacher on her own. I'm sitting with her. I'm teaching everything. I'm showing her each and every step of teaching. And then only I give her the class. And I myself as well teach in the school. And apart from that, I go and sit with the other teachers. And at times I ask them, I said, okay, I hope I'm not being a, like being a problem on your head, sitting on. So they say, no, no, they learn from me. So they like it, they're like students to me only. It doesn't matter even if the teacher is as old as me. I don't care, For me, they're all like, we're all trying to help the children, and they understand it.
I would say that, a good teacher's influence is something that can never be erased. And I would definitely salute to all your teachers as well, all my wishes, and I'm always welcoming. I told you even yesterday as well that I'm going to, train them, and I'm going to make sure that if there's anything in my capability on, my teaching that I can help them in, I'm definitely going to help them out. And Miss Humaira, to wrap it
thank
up,
you so much.
I would really appreciate that, we stay in touch and I talk to you about your students as well. And I would love to see the progress from what they are now and how they're going to go far. And we're going to call you after, inshallah, 5 years. Why not? We're going to, call you and see that how you've worked about it. We have some amazing,
anytime.
Comments. Miss Husna Alam, she's like an amazing teacher in Greenwich University, and she's so happy to see you. She's like, you're doing a wonderful job, because Miss, it's a huge thing.
Thank you, Husna.
It's not something that people do usually. You're coming out of your own shell and you're helping people out. You're providing way much more than what even I as a teacher can do. I used to think that I go the two ways forward. After looking at you, I feel like complete loss. I'm like, I haven't done anything.
No, it's not at all. It's not at all like that. We are all doing our parts, So, like whatever you are there for, you're doing that, It's like that. So never ever think. We are doing whatever we've been assigned to do. That's it. So we are not the planners. It's always Allah Ta'ala who's planned everything for us. We never know. I was teaching like you guys only. I was teaching the school. I was giving tuitions to all our students. I was teaching them maths. I was teaching them English, social studies and everything. And suddenly I'm into this, it's like that. Then we were having the summer camps. Nobody would think that we're doing swimming classes and fine arts and everything. And I'm into something else totally different from that. So it's always, he's the best planner, definitely. We
Beshak.
never know
Miss,
where we end up.
I would take your point forward, and I would thank you so much, Miss Humaira, for giving us your time, giving
Thank
us your
you.
valuable insight. I wish from Greenwich University, inshallah, we'll be trying to help you and your students as well in their education, in their training. We'll try to make it up to you guys as much as we can, because education is something that Greenwich has always valued. And as an educational institute, we always try to, lower the gap and just, bridge it up and try to make the conventional needs met. Thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate, Miss Amira.
Thank you so much for having me on the show.
How was your experience, by the way?
For on the show, it was very good. I love talking to you. It was very interesting.
It
And
was
I
sweet.
love
Okay.
talking about my children. I love talking about my school. Anytime you can talk to me about them, there would be no end to it. I'll just go on and on and on. So
I
I
know.
love
I
my
I,
children.
I
I miss
saw
them a
it.
lot during the COVID. And I hope we get back to the normal situation. I can have those kids. I can touch them. I can be with them. It's like I miss them a lot. It's
That's so
been like this
sweet.
COVID has fine. It has taught us a lot of things as well. I did not know how to use the gadgets that well. Even now there are certain lackings, but still I know how to use the. I didn't even know how to use the WhatsApp properly, so I learned all that. I came to know how to record. Very frankly, our age group is not very good at these gadgets. I don't know about the others. Maybe they would say you're too old, but I'm not that good at these gadgets. But somehow we did everything. We're trying to work. Inshallah, hopefully we are over with it and we're back in our schools.
Inshallah,
Inshallah.
inshallah. Thank you so much, Miss Humaira, for your time, for your lovely words. You are an inspiration, and you will always be an inspiration, especially coming from a
Thank you
school
very much.
that was catering to an amazing lot of students, and then being that candle in that
Yes,
complete darkness.
I'm very grateful to my teachers of the Mama School. That no doubt. I still feel that the teachers who taught me over there, they treated us with so much of love and everything. You most of the education institutions are have girls from our schools, and it's I would call them girls now. We are all ladies. So they have these ladies and they're working, and it's amazing. We were taught by very good people. Alhamdulillah. I must say that.
मीन्स
Our
देखें
principal, Miss
वही वही
Contractor.
बात आती है, वही बात आती है, एक अच्छी टीचर जो होती है ना, वो अच्छे स्टूडेंट्स बनाती है, फिर वो अच्छे स्टूडेंट्स अच्छे टीचर बनते हैं. It's like a process that
बिल्कुल
goes on and on. Thank you so much for your time,
नहीं
Miss Amanda. Time went by with you. I just want to talk to you the whole day. मैं तो आपसे कल भी
thank
पूरे
you.
वक्त बात करती थी. Now I did completely forgot for 50 minutes. Thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate
You're
it.
most welcome.
This was Miss
Thank you
Humaira
very
with us.
much.
Thank you so much for coming. This was with Humaira Visas. She has a school in Bhadrabad that's called Mrs. Syed School. She teaches the underprivileged students. She tries to make a bit of change. That's the whole idea of our school, of our show as well, that we re-image education, we change the education's background for all, and we make it available for every person. As a student of Greenwich University, we have also tried in bridging up the gap, and we are also facilitating the students by scholarships up to 75% as well. The whole idea behind these type of shows is to help you guys realize that education is a basic need. It should be given to all. Thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it. Please take care of yourself, take care of the people around you, and if you have somebody who can be in the Mrs. Syed school, and you feel like Miss Mera can help them out, please cater to them. Write to us in Greenwich University's website or email, WhatsApp us. We'll try to make them come together. Thank you so much for your time. I really appreciate it. And Pakistan Zindabad.